And welcome back, everybody. This is Movies and Beyond. We are in week 4, is it, Kyle?
I don't know. I've lost count.
Yeah. I think we're in week 4, so that's great. How are we doing today, Kyle? We're doing good?
Very good. My eyes are looking, well, I'm looking better with my eyes, and I can actually see a lot clearer now,
Yeah, you don't look
which is
like a
nice.
heroin addict.
Yeah. Um, just quickly getting this off. I was thinking, because I don't really like doing essay videos, um, but I was thinking we could do a games discussion and where the games industry is at. So just keep an eye out for that if you're still looking for some gaming news.
Yeah.
It's not really going to go into gaming news. It's going to go into more history of it, but it's going to be an interesting topic. But yeah, other than that, I am ready for this news because it's been bleeding all over the weekend on it. So
Yeah, there's been a lot this weekend. A bit of a bit of bitching and stuff like that. But you know, let's get into it.
sounds
Kyle,
bitching.
have you seen the 2003 Daredevil film with Ben Affleck?
Is that really a question? Of course, I've seen that film. Of
Yes.
course, I've seen it.
Yes.
with
Colin
uh
Farrell.
with with Foggy as
Yeah.
John Favreau's Foggy.
Fog Favreau, yes.
Yeah, and then
Um,
they have that little fight in the kids' car park.
yeah.
What is it, kids' car park then?
Yeah, kids just pulling up in the cars. But um, Ben Affleck's been seen on the set of Deadpool 3. Now, here's what I'm going to talk about first, just quickly. Yes, Ben Affleck could be playing a just a character in the story of Deadpool 3. That is, it's likely, it's an option. One thing I've seen people saying is Ben Affleck could be playing Batman in Deadpool 3. I'm not being funny. That wouldn't even make it onto Fairydom. That's very fucking stupid. Uh, but obviously, Ben Affleck played Daredevil in the 2003 film. So maybe he's playing Daredevil in Deadpool 3. We know it's going to be a multiversal film. We're getting, apparently we're getting all the original X-Men back. We're getting just anything Marvel related, pretty much, it seems like we're getting in Deadpool 3. It's going to be like a pre-Secret Wars. But do you think we're going to get Ben Affleck as Daredevil?
I mean, we got all right. Spoilers for the Flash. We got George Clooney back at the end of the film. Um, and that was DC. DC. Going in fully into this multiversal stuff. With going back onto their movies. Marvel have already done this. Obviously, I'd say it was more Sony that kind of did it. Um, Obviously, with No Way Home, they brought Toby and Andrew back. The only thing that's really in the MCU that, like their own MCU movie, which is Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, the only thing that was multiversal was, um, obviously we got because everyone wanted John Krasinski, to be Mr. Fantastic in the MCU. So he played Mr. Fantastic in that film in a different universe. Obviously, he might not be, by the sounds of it. He might not be returning as Mr. Fantastic, which is quite sad. But at least we got a little bit of him in that.
Yeah, we got to see
And
it.
what's that?
We got to see it.
We got to see it, yeah. And then obviously the big one, Professor Xavier. He returned. It was a different version from the X-Men films. It was still the same actor, but it was definitely a different version. He had the big yellow chair, floating yellow chair, and everything. Um, so I feel like MCU wise, they need to step it up with what they're gonna do, and if they brought back this Daredevil, which isn't favored by really anyone. Like it's just it's like George Clooney. No one wants to see them return as that.
I want
We
to
don't want to
see.
see this.
I want to see Ben Affleck's Daredevil return just to get killed by Danny DeVito as Wolverine.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what I mean though. Like it's not like, listen, they're gonna show up and they're not gonna be the main character unless they,
Yeah.
they make him a main character. He's one of the multiversal part of the team up or whatever, and then they kind of redeem that version of Daredevil a little bit. That would be interesting. You don't really want to waste
He's
someone
get
like Ben
he's
Affleck.
getting X-forced. He's getting
He
X-forced.
probably will get X-Forced, yeah. But I'm saying if they didn't do that and they kept him as like one of the main characters, um, like he travels through the multiverse with, or he he travels through. I mean, for all we know, Deadpool is already in the same universe as Daredevil. Do you know what I mean? Like, it don't mean he has to be
Yeah.
multiversal. That's also
And
something to throw on the
interesting
plate.
fact as well, they're bringing back old Fox stuff. Daredevil was owned by Fox back in the day, but they just didn't do anything with him, and the rights passed back over to Marvel. So that's why we got the TV show. The thing that comes along with this rumor, Kyle, is that they are doing a version of Deadpool kills the Marvel universe. So, where does that get your excitement? If that's thinking about it now, we're hearing about all these different, just last Friday, our first topic was Gambit in Deadpool 3. We're going to be talking about Deadpool 3 up until it comes out now next year because they're shooting right now. So, what do you think? Do you think we're going to get Deadpool and Wolverine kill the Marvel Universe?
I don't think it'll be Wolverine.
Or
I think
Wolverine's
maybe.
trying to stop him and Deadpool's
Yeah,
just kill.
that sounds a bit more likely.
Yeah.
If they do that, I've not read the comic storyline, but I've heard it's pretty entertaining. So I mean, it suits this version of Deadpool as well because we saw in the last film when Vanessa got killed. He would just went around trying to kill himself in all the ways possible. Like, remember he threw himself into a zoo, he drank bleach and jumped off the building.
That's in the
So
super duper cut, innit?
it's in the super duper cut, yeah. But it's still a part of his character, and I feel like if they do this in 3, instead of him killing himself, he just goes around killing everyone. I don't know why he does that in the comics. I have no idea why.
I don't know what he does in the comics as well. But maybe he's doing it in Deadpool 3 because he got Vanessa back, but maybe she keeps dying, so he has to keep changing things, and the multiverse just keeps breaking and breaking and breaking. So maybe he's doing that to keep her alive.
Yeah, I think it'll probably still tie in with Vanessa because, both Deadpool films had Vanessa as like the,
Yeah.
the main sort
It's
of.
the reason he does anything.
It's the reason. Yeah, it's the reason for him doing what he does. I think they'll probably stick with that, and
Marina
obviously,
Bachmann's back, so
yeah.
she will be in it.
I think if they do, obviously they bring back this Daredevil. No one's gonna be like, oh, why did you bring him back? He's like the worst Daredevil. We'll be like, oh my god, what the fuck? They brought him back. Same with George Clooney.
Yeah, because it was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, in the famous words of Barry Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it.
I see it working. He's, put him in there a day, shooting for a day, kill the character. It seems like something that Ben Affleck would be up for. He likes a fun time. I'm pretty sure he would think it were funny.
I mean, if there's anyone that can convince him, it's Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Well, look at the cast that is, maybe managed to get in this film. None of it's confirmed yet. But if all these rumored cast members are true, like all the original X-Men, Channing Tatum, Taylor Kitsch, now Ben Affleck, if they're just bringing it all in, then that's going to be great. I did see a rumor, which I'm not too sure about though, which is the old Fantastic Four as well will be in it.
I do you know what? Because they're obviously Fox owned. I feel like if they were gonna show up, it'd be a small cameo like how they was in Deadpool 2, the X-Men.
Well,
They were just
what,
in that room,
like I say,
and
what if this whole film is just Deadpool just clearing house of the old Fox stuff? What a better way to just get rid of the old.
it's just
Right.
it's
Just get
because
rid of the old and come in
he is.
with a new.
I mean, he does break the fourth wall, so it'd be very fitting that he has to, go around and he's just doing it because.
Yeah.
There's maybe the MCU is the only universe where Vanessa's still alive. Maybe that's
Yeah.
like story wise, but like he breaks. He's like, oh, looks like we're gonna have to kill all these characters that we just don't. But
Don't worry, I'm Kevin Feige's janitor.
yeah, he's like, if I want to stay in this new timeline, I've got to get rid of some fluff.
Yeah.
So,
And I think this all comes, even more. I'm pretty sure the first rumored cast member after Hugh Jackman was confirmed, the first rumored cast member after that was Owen Wilson as Mobius.
yeah,
So I think they knew they had to lock him down before they could really start. Well, they didn't have to, but I'm pretty sure he was a must. It's like this will really tie us to the multiverse. But yeah, I'm excited for Deadpool 3. Pretty sure you're excited for Deadpool 3. I feel like every other episode now we're talking about Deadpool 3, but who cares? I love Deadpool 1 and 2. I can't wait for 3. I remember us sitting in your living room just watching that test footage over and over again and just getting really excited for it. But yeah, anyway.
I remember the whole day leading up to the first film. I remember the local comic book shop that we go to. I'm not gonna.
Things,
I'm not
didn't
gonna.
you, with it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what name they are because I don't like them anymore. But they were cool back in the day, and basically I went in and I bought like a pop head or something, and then they're giving away these free Deadpool goodie bags, and it came with loads of just random stuff.
Postcards.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
came with all sorts. It came with a
Oh no,
sleeper mask as
Oh no,
well.
it wasn't the postcards. The postcards came with the Blu-ray. I remember.
Yeah, the postcards came with your Blu-ray,
Yeah.
your copy that you got. But I just got like loads of random stuff. I got I got a beanie as well, a Deadpool beanie.
Yeah.
You fold it down and it's got the eyes. I'm pretty sure I've got that somewhere around here, but I'll probably definitely be wearing that on Night of Deadpool 3. I'm pretty sure I've worn it. Pretty sure I've worn it every Deadpool, first screening I've been to.
Hell yeah. But anyway, from Deadpool, something so fun to let's jump back into the real world a bit. Jonathan Majors. We all know what's going on with him. He's been accused of assaulting his ex-girlfriend in a taxi. Well, some things are coming out in his favour. This was this story was out last Friday. I didn't feel comfortable talking about it until I had all the information myself, and I've had a look at it. So here's what I'll say. I'll break it down first for you, Kyle. So there's footage of the fight. He did, she wasn't injured after that. He didn't hurt her in that fight. Like if a couple have a fight, they have a little tussle or whatever. It's not like he were throwing elbows and stuff like that. And all this evidence has been given to Insider.com, so they can't share it because it's for a court case, which the trial date is on August 3rd. But yeah, so she wasn't injured after that incident. There's multiple witnesses, who will be coming forward. Obviously, there's footage of it. There's body cam footage of a police officer saying, how can this black man afford this house, not knowing who he is? And it's also, you see the officer trying to guide her in a direction of saying that Majors did it. Trying to guiding her to it. She was asked 19 times what happened, and she says she doesn't know, and she probably didn't know what happened because she got blackout drunk and was on sleeping pills and woke up in a closet. So, obviously we're here to talk about the movie news side of this. After August 3rd, it depends how long the trial goes on. Do you see Marvel start maybe marketing majors again for Loki season 2 and start talking about him openly, because a synopsis just came out for Loki season 2 and there is no mention of Kang, He Who Remains, or Victor Timely, which we know is one of the variants he'll be playing in Loki season 2. So
well, I mean, it hopefully it gets kind of sorted out.
if, like I said, we still don't know because there's no footage of what actually happened.
Yeah.
But there's footage of her going out after the incident. She's having a good time.
I mean, if at the end of the day, I just hope that they can hurry up and clear this up. If he's innocent, then I can't wait for him to come back as Kang. If he's not innocent, then Marvel are gonna have a really tricky task trying to cast the next Kang, and it's definitely gonna leave a lot of bad taste in people's mouths whenever we see the next person as Kang, because it feels like, damn, it's like set up with this guy and he's such an amazing actor, but he turned out to be like one of the worst people ever. But I mean, from what we're hearing, it's all going on his side.
Yeah. And
Obviously, I'm not going to say that he is good or he is bad yet, but we'll have to wait and see. But other than that,
we don't know.
Yeah.
And like I say, the other thing is, would the district attorney take this case on if they didn't know, if they didn't think they were going to win it or not? So you don't know what they've got. You don't know what he's got. So it's just hard. But then again, there's witness testimony. There's footage. So maybe it's all pointing in the direction of he is innocent. But we still don't know. We can't say for sure. But I think if he is, because Marvel have done the right thing this time, and Disney, and they haven't just fired as soon as the news came out. They've played it right. I think a lot of studios could take what they've done after this if he comes out and he's innocent. And it's like, don't just fire him right away. Yes, they have distanced themselves from him over the past... When was it, the end of March that this happened? They've distanced themselves from him over the past 3 to 4 months. I'm pretty sure that's a whole big reason why Loki's been pushed to the back end of the year. And stuff like that. And they're not mentioning him. They didn't mention him on the synopsis on Disney Plus when Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania came out. They haven't mentioned him now in the synopsis in Loki season 2, but they are playing it safe. You can't get mad with Marvel because at the end of the day, while these allegations are out there, they cannot be seen to be getting involved with him. So I hope he's innocent. I hope these horrible things didn't happen. And it's looking like maybe they didn't, but we still don't know. We still wasn't there. But, hopefully nothing bad happened. Hopefully it was just a bit too much to drink and stuff's been blown out of proportion. That's what I'm hoping for. So, yeah. Anyway, now that this is out of the way, a bit of a dull story, but I didn't want to end on it and I didn't want to start with it. Let's go to something that's maybe not as dull, but is definitely bad for Warner Brothers. The Flash has dropped 73% in its opening weekend, in its second weekend. Kyle, 73% of 55 million drop is atrocious. Do you know how bad that is? So we're just gonna compare this now, right? So Avengers Endgame, so this is the highest opening film of all time. So you would think this would probably have the biggest second weekend drop, because everyone went out to go see it the first weekend. Avengers Endgame opened to about 350 million opening weekend domestic US. It dropped by 59% and still made 145 million in its second weekend. Flash has dropped 73% from that 55 mil. What do you think this says about the film? You know, what do you think it says about DC? What do you think it says about Flash as a character?
I don't think this isn't something that we should look at and go, oh, it's because it's the Flash. No one likes the Flash. No
Well,
one
yeah,
wants
because
the Flash film.
the show had good ratings when it first started,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
people
And
like the character.
look at Aquaman. My best example is look at Aquaman. No one knows who the fuck Aquaman is. Like, you know, he's not well known.
I think he's well known.
Especially.
It's just people think he's a joke.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I'd just say it would just obviously with Jason Momoa tied to it, that helped massively.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
that really legitimized it.
And because it just didn't seem like a crazy comic book story. You know, whereas like the Flash is a bit more comic book, more it's more tailored for the comic book audience. Whereas like your regular moviegoer can, you know, I don't feel like they would have enjoyed the Flash as much just because it goes into all the multiversal stuff. Um, you know, so I don't think, and you got to think as well with all the Ezra Miller stuff, all the delays, all the, you know, what people are saying about it. Review wise, it's not going good, to be honest. Like I said, we enjoyed the film. I thought it was great, but review
Right,
wise, I don't
I'll
think
have a
it's doing
quick
too well.
look to see what it's at. You keep talking, mate.
Um, so I mean, that's probably the biggest issues that's with it. I don't think this is ever going to stop. You know, you know, them making another Flash film. Obviously, we're not Ezra Miller, but with the new Flash they do, maybe in a couple of years' time, once they're ready to do his storyline again. Um, but it's just a case of, you know, when we will get another Flash movie. This, you know, if you're a Flash fan, don't be worrying about it. You're gonna get another Flash film. This film has just been in absolute the worst position for a very very long time. Um, you know, so yeah, I won't worry too much.
65% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's dropped to. So that's interesting. But yeah, going back to what you were saying, I don't think it's people don't like the character of the Flash. I think out of the after the Holy Trinity, you know, out of Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman, I think Flash might be the next most popular character out of them four. You know, I could be blind because the Flash is my favourite DC character. I could be being very biased here, but I think the Flash is probably the more well known out of, you know, outside of them big three. Now, has Warner Brothers got a battle ahead with their new DC universe that they're going to be making? Or do you think people will be like, new universe, let's go see it? Because I don't know if people know about stuff like that. I don't know if the average moviegoer knows who James Gunn is. You know, and knows that he's rebooting the universe. It's going to be a fresh start. You don't have to worry about any of the other films. You can go in and see Superman Legacy and just enjoy it. Or will it still be dragged down by all this baggage that we've got here?
I don't think so. I think the new universe is going to do okay. It's not going to do phenomenal. You can't. I feel like
I won't be calling it a failure if Superman Legacy comes out and makes 400 million. Because
yeah,
that's their first film.
yeah. No, I think it'll do well. It won't do numbers like Endgame. I didn't even expect the Flash to do numbers like Endgame. I didn't expect it to do numbers
Yeah, no,
like
I like to say I
Aquaman.
was comparing it to Endgame because Endgame is the biggest opening of all time. So you'd have
Yeah.
thought that would have had a bigger percentage drop.
No, I know that's what I mean, but still, it's like there's loads of factors in it. So
Yeah.
with that, it's you know, I feel like the best example to look at it is compare it to Aquaman because that's the best one money wise. It made the most money. Um, so I feel like when you compare it to that, this had the potential to do Aquaman money, but like you know, with everything that went on with this film, the delays, the you know Ezra Miller stuff, Obviously, it was stuck in production forever. They couldn't get this movie out. Obviously, they kept changing directors and things like that. And obviously, people have lost a lot of faith with DC after, with what happened with the Justice League and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they said that they're basically giving up on it. So there's loads of things that aren't helping this movie. But like I said, it could have probably done really really well, but
It's
unfortunately
done
it
what
didn't.
it's done. Like, I would not be surprised if this film is on digital next week or the week after. But I will say, is a little factor I want to talk about. Something we haven't really brought up because I didn't think it was that big of a factor, but it might actually be a very big factor we don't know about. So, before The Flash came out, it felt like everyone had seen the film but us two in all these, special like fan screenings.
Hmm.
So do you think that might have anything to do? Do you think that might have affected the box office? Because they were filling up theatres just to show people The Flash. To get that
No,
positive word of mouth out there. But
I don't think so. No,
you're showing your audience who would spend money and buy tickets.
no, I don't think so because there's still a lot of big comic book fans that don't go to these special premieres, these early fan screenings and stuff like that. Whether
Yeah.
they can't make it or they just, you know,
Anyway, just
whatever.
off the
But
back of that, me and Kyle would love to go to any UK premieres for anything. Kevin Feige, thank you very much. We would love to go to the Marvels premiere. We would love to go to the Captain America Brave New World premiere. We'd love to go to the Deadpool premiere. Let's make that happen. But yeah, I know what you mean. It can't have affected it that bad because we liked the film. I'd say I even loved it a little bit, but we only seen it twice, and I'm with you. After that second viewing, I wouldn't say the rewatchability's there. We
I
all
mean, I will eventually. I'll watch it
yeah
when it comes out on streaming because it is a fun film. It's got stuff that I really liked in it, and then it's just
yeah
the stuff that I didn't like, I didn't hate.
yeah. Well, I'm counting. Like I say, right now I'm counting down days to when I can see Guardians of the Galaxy again on digital. I'd usually wait until Disney Plus because it comes out in August on Disney Plus, but the beginning of July for a digital purchase. So I'm probably just gonna buy it because I want to see that film again so much.
Mm.
And I'm pretty sure I saw it like 5-6 times in the cinema. So yeah, this box office in total is bad. It's not. But I think people are getting it wrong as well. This isn't a reflection on James Gunn. This isn't a reflection on Andy Muschietti as well because he made a fun film, and he's gonna have fun with Batman. So I don't think he's gonna lose Batman based off the box office failure that the Flash has been. I just think there was a lot more things weighing it down than we know about. Not even Michael Keaton coming back as Batman could save this film. But I think that's because a lot of the people whose generation Michael Keaton as Batman is doesn't really, cross over now to new comic book films. Whereas Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, we grew up with that. We would have been like 3 or 4 years old when the first film came out. When did the first Spider-Man come out? 2002. Yeah. So yeah, we'd have been 3 or 4 when the first. I'm pretty sure you'd have been 3. Yeah, we'd have been 3 years old when the first one came out. We'd have been 5 when the second one came out, and I remember because I was in the ripe age for it then. 5 years old, Spider-Man. Oh my god, let's go back and watch the first one. And I'm pretty sure I was like 8 when the third one came out. So and that entire generation has been captured by comic book films. So that's why when the nostalgia came for Toby and Andrew in No Way Home, it worked. Whereas I don't think it translated well to Michael Keaton as Batman. Because yeah, I've seen the films, but they're not my childhood.
Yeah, that's not to say that Michael Keaton's Batman in this film is bad in any way.
Oh, one of the best parts.
You
I
know,
loved it. Like I say,
it is,
I've
yeah,
pre-ordered that hot toy for a reason.
exactly. So that's not a factor. Don't look into it that way. Um, it's just maybe if it was If it were Christian Bale's Batman, for example, I feel like that would have drawn in a little bit more
Now
people.
we're gonna get into that later. So
No, I know, it's one of
let's
our
let's
topics.
get to our next topic then. So yeah, Flash. It should have done better. It had a lot going for it. But
I
anyway.
like the little shit in quotation marks. It's just no. It's just it doesn't even say who it's by. It's just a
Shit.
quote, and it just says shit.
Well, it's supposed to be Ezra.
Uh,
Yeah, but
it looks more like Supergirl is like flying past going shit. If anything. Oh fuck you know.
maybe she is. You know,
Uh,
Sasha Kaye could do nothing wrong. But anyway, speaking of people who feel like they've been wronged, James Mangold. He has been doing a lot of interviews lately because obviously he has Indiana Jones coming out at the end of this week. Um, so people have been interviewing him, and he's been asked, "What do you think of Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine in Deadpool 3?" Now, for those who don't know, James Mangold directed probably one of the greatest comic book films of all time, which is Logan. And that was really supposed to be Hugh Jackman's swan song. See you later, never doing Wolverine again. And it was that for years. He was never going to do Wolverine again until Ryan Reynolds came to him and said, "How about you come with me and we make possibly the best comic book film of all time with Wolverine and Deadpool?" So he's not going to say no to that. And I feel like when Hugh Jackman said no to returning as Wolverine, I feel like he felt he'd done everything he could do. But then after that, after Logan came out, Disney was looking into acquiring Fox. So I feel like Hugh Jackman now, his eyes have been opened and he can see all this stuff that he can do. And, all these little, while he's still got it in him, while he can still play in this sandbox for just a little bit longer, maybe he might get a chance at meeting Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. He might get to, play with Chris Hemsworth as Thor. But I think the thing he wanted to do the most was Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, and him, which was possible before because they were both Fox, but I feel like he was a bit done in 2017. But James Mangold, he says he feels betrayed by Hugh Jackman for doing this. What do you think? Do you think Hugh Jackman's betrayed him, or what?
No.
Definitely not.
I feel like he's just saying that because the comic book, fandom of all, people who are really into comic books and stuff. It's a big thing now. Like look at, Avengers Endgame is made the most money. I mean, until Avatar, sort of got it back. But I'm just saying, there's loads of eyes on this. Like comic book movies are a part of today's, comic book movies are constantly trending.
There's
It's
like one
the
every 6 weeks, something
It's the
comic book
big
related.
it's the biggest genre I think probably in the world when it comes to movies, um, and so obviously with James Mangold, I liked the Wolverine. It was
Yeah,
okay. It
I
wasn't.
thought it was okay. He's done
Yeah,
some
it was.
great stuff before that as well, though.
Yeah, I've not
Yeah,
seen anything other than the two Wolverine films he did, which the Wolverine and Logan. I agree with you. I think Logan's phenomenal. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. It's just fucking amazing. Um, and obviously, Hugh Jackman's coming back now, and he's gone on out and said, "Oh, I feel betrayed." Sam Raimi didn't say that when Tobey Maguire came back. I'm
no,
pretty sure Mark Webb didn't say that when Andrew came back.
no.
And they James Mangold got to do what he wanted to do with the character and end the character in a really great way. Just ended it
Yeah,
in like the perfect way possible. Toby and Sam Raimi didn't get that treatment.
no.
They got fucked over in the third film, and then they weren't allowed to make a
Yeah,
fourth.
third and second film.
Andrew,
Yeah,
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 Andrew didn't even had no like Mark Webb had no control over his second movie, um, and then they didn't even get a third movie. So if he's wanting to go out and say, "Oh, they've been betrayed," it's like no, like you've not really been betrayed, mate. You've had you've had a really good run with it. It was a short run, but you ended that character really well, and they're just doing something different.
Amazingly, like I said, one of the best comic book films of all time.
And it's not going to affect what he did in that
No,
film with
it,
that film.
it's
That,
Logan.
that
Yeah, Logan will be Logan, and it always will be Logan, and it will go down as. I find it hard to find a film that will top Logan in the greatest comic book film. Because we had it. Back when Logan came out, it was like, right, out of the three studios, Fox's best is definitely Logan. DC's best is definitely The Dark Knight. You got to think this is 2017 at the time when that came out, so opinions might have changed now. And I'm pretty sure we were, for me, it was 2017, and the first Avengers film was, Winter Soldier is my favourite MCU film and possibly one of my favourite Marvel films of all time and favourite film of all time, Winter Soldier is. But when it comes to comic book film, if speaking about it in that terms, then I put Avengers there just for nostalgia purpose out of Disney Studio. Now, Logan will be Logan. I say this. I don't want to put words in people's mouth or anything like that. Do you think, because he wouldn't be speaking out unless it bothered him, which it clearly does, do you think he might be bothered that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine will not always be remembered as his version, which he sent off perfectly, and he's actually quite worried that they're going to do an even better version in Deadpool 3 that he's going to be remembered for more?
Well, here's the thing though. The possibility since Fox has been bought by Disney, and obviously, they're doing multiversal stuff. The possible, when they were teasing it, even back then when we had like teasers and rumors and stuff, but they're going multiversal. It was a possibility. Do you know what I mean? I I don't feel sorry for James Mangold, and I don't get why he's kind of whining. Let's be honest. There's no need for saying like, oh, I've been betrayed by Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman's just the actor. Like, yeah, he's Wolverine. He's been Wolverine for many, many years.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, it's not like it's gonna affect him in any way. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of people will agree with us. Logan is one of the best movies of all time, and it was like, comic wise, and in
Even
some
movie,
people's
even movie
even
wise,
even
yeah,
movie wise. That's what I'm saying. So him saying that, it's just like, oh, it's like he wants a part of it, if anything,
yeah.
because he's
Now,
doing a comic book movie, and we've had characters come back before.
yeah, if you really want to speak about digging characters up, and putting them on screen for way too long, what's he being interviewed for right now? What's he directing? Indiana Jones. I'm
Yeah,
excited. I'm
Hey,
excited for it. I'm excited for Indiana Jones. But if it is a character that should have been put to bed, it's Indiana Jones.
yeah, exactly. It's like the original directors for the older Indiana Jones, even fucking Crystal Skull.
Well, I'm pretty
You
sure it
know,
was all Spielberg, but Mangold. Spielberg was supposed to do Dial of Destiny, but passed it on to Mangold.
well, that's the thing, though. I mean, you know, the previous directors or whatever, they probably thought, oh, I've ended the character well. It's just stupid. I mean, I get it in the sense of, yeah, you've ended this character and you've done it in your way, and you feel like, they've kind
Yeah.
of dug him out of the grave, and it's like, it's not like that. This is not going to be the same Logan. Like,
Well,
Deadpool's not going to be getting a shovel and picking him out of that universe.
the
It's going to be
first thing,
completely different.
the first thing they said in their video, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, is, "Don't worry, this won't affect Logan."
Yeah,
That's one of the first
exactly.
things they said, and I feel like maybe he's having a little bit of a whinge and he's going on about it. But if he'd have just kept his mouth shut, let's say Deadpool 3 came out, and let's say Deadpool 3 was atrocious, one of the worst films of the year next year, getting clowned on constantly. If he'd have kept quiet, he could have just been like, stayed in his own head, like, well, see, and then he could have come out later and said, yeah, I think that was a bad idea.
I honestly think he's just doing it just for a bit of attention. You don't hear James Mangold's name in, you know, you don't hear it as often as it well deserved. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah,
should
because he's a
should
phenomenal
be.
director. He really
Yeah, I
is.
know, but he don't get talked about
You know,
enough, and I feel like this is
Ford v
just a play of
Ferrari.
that.
I'm excited for his Star Wars film coming up. And I'm pretty sure he said in the same interview as well, because he's going to be directing Swamp Thing for the new DC studios. He says, "Oh, I see Swamp Thing as a singular film, you know, but I know the studio has plans for it after." Well, why can't you have the same mindset for Hugh Jackman as Wolverine?
There you go.
It's not his property. Yes, he's going to feel a little bit of ownership over it. Yes, if this was me, I'd probably be a little bit, upset about it as well. You're bound to be.
But here's the thing: it's not continuing Logan. It's not rectifying anything that happens in his films. The Wolverine we're going to see is going to be very different. It's going to be the most comic accurate Wolverine I think we've ever seen. He's probably going to have the yellow suit and everything.
Well, they're going to kneecap Hugh Jackman.
Kneecap Hugh Jackman. Jesus Christ. But, it's not going to be the same. Like, he's going to be wearing the costume and the suit and things. I'm pretty sure we're going to see that.
Yeah.
The Wolverine that he directed wasn't really even his Wolverine. It you know it started with the X-Men films. Someone else chose him to be Wolverine.
Yeah.
He was just someone who ended that character's story, and he did it so well. But for him to say like, "Oh, he's my character, and I've been betrayed now because he's coming back. Hugh Jackman's coming back, playing a different version of Wolverine," which is going to be the case. It's going to I'm 90% sure it's going to be a comic accurate Wolverine.
Yeah. Now,
yeah.
with all this being said, I don't want to leave like a bit of taste in our mouth against James Mangold because I love his films. I love him as a director. Like I said earlier, I'm excited for his Star Wars film. I'm excited for Indiana Jones. I'm excited for Swamp Thing. So, we'll just have to leave it at that. It's just I really wish he didn't say this.
I think it's just a marketing
because it
thing.
puts a little bit of a sour taste in people's mouths. So yeah, maybe it is a big marketing film thing, and then he's going to show up in Deadpool 3 and Logan's going to cut his head off or something. But anyway, now, so, obviously we're talking here about Hugh Jackman who will return. Now let's talk about someone who refused to return. Christian Bale. Guys, we just had a bit of a technical difficulty. Kyle lagged out, but we're going to jump right into this topic right now. So, do you remember the cameo of George Clooney right at the end of The Flash? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you were speaking to the audience. Obviously, I remember.
Kyle, we've got 10
we just
subscribers.
spoke about it.
So.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've already spoke about it. I already said.
So, that George Clooney cameo was actually offered to Christian Bale. And they says, "Do you want to play Batman one more time?" And he was like, "No, I refuse to. I am not being Batman again." Now, do you think this is somewhat to do with Bale's loyalty to Christopher Nolan, or do you think he's just completely done with superheroes? Obviously, he was Gore last year in 4, but do you think he's just completely done with Batman and has got no interest in it whatsoever?
I don't think that. I think if it was anything to do with Christopher Nolan, he'd come back. But he can't obviously in the Batman, he's he has the work he did on those movies. He was on the suit. He was in the suit, and that was probably the most difficult part of being Batman and doing those movies. He was Gore in one film, right? And he had all that prosthetics and he had all that makeup and everything like that. That must have taken hours and hours and hours. So for him to say, "Yeah, I'm gonna do that,"
and not show up in a suit for 30 seconds.
yeah, that's clearly just loyalty to Christopher Nolan, and I respect that. I
Yeah.
get it, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's multiversal. It doesn't really matter. I mean, he could have just stepped out of the car. We've seen him for 2 seconds, and that's it.
I think it'd have got a bigger pop than Clooney.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And unfortunately, they couldn't have. I'm pretty sure they would have asked Val Kilmer first,
Mm.
but he's obviously he's got throat cancer and he can't speak, so that's sad as it is. But yeah,
I
I think
think if he knew that it was just going to be a small cameo like it was with George Clooney, then I think he might have come back. But you know, he asked him would he come back as Batman, wasn't he?
yeah,
So that's probably why.
yeah, no. Now, here's an interesting question for you. Do you think if Michael Keaton said no to coming back as Batman, obviously we know they was looking at Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who played Thomas Wayne in Batman v Superman, to play the Thomas Wayne version of Batman that is in the original Flashpoint story. Do you think maybe if Jeffrey Dean Morgan said no, which I don't think he would have done because he's already talked about it and said he'd been well up for it, do you think maybe they'd have tried to go after Bale? Like, with everything they've got? Like, we will give you this much money to come back as Batman.
Um, I, I, ugh,
I think
I
they've gone
don't.
after him.
I
They'd have
think they
gone
would have.
after him.
They would have tried if they would have succeeded. That's a different story. I don't think they would have. Um, you know, it was a 65 chance. I'd say 70% chance that he'd say yes. Um, whereas that's quite low if you think about if they ask anybody else, it's like 99% they're
Yeah,
gonna say yeah. Who doesn't want to come back as Batman? Whereas Christian Bale, obviously, he's got a very he's had a good relationship with Christopher Nolan. Obviously, he did a trilogy with him, and I feel like I said, if he came back as that little cameo at the end of the Flash, I reckon he would have done it. But because the question was asked, would he come back as Batman? I think it would no. The answer was no because he has so much respect for the movies he created with Christopher Nolan.
yeah. And he just straight up, he just refused. He said, I refuse to come back.
Mm.
So, it's interesting. Obviously, we've just been talking about uh, Hugh Jackman, who clearly wouldn't feel the same loyalty because he worked with loads of directors over, all these different X-Men films. But then you've got someone like, where it does make sense with Christian Bale, because he worked with Nolan for every single one of them Batman films. So, here it makes sense, whereas, what James Mangold were talking about don't really make sense. He directed him twice out of the how many times he's played the character. So, yeah. Anyway, Kyle, did you know there's a Minecraft movie coming out starring Jason Momoa? I only just found out about this yesterday. Um, now they're gonna start shooting soon in New Zealand. I didn't know this film was coming, and I don't know what the story is gonna be. You know, obviously, you know, we've both played a lot of this game. We've both put a lot of hours into this game with each other. What do you think the story's gonna be?
Can I just say I am over the moon that we are getting this before we get any sort of like Fortnite movie. I just like yes, I'm all for this. Jason Momoa's now been, Jason Momoa being possibly our main character. I am all for this, or at least just being in the film. I am all for this.
They
I
should make it
obviously
R-rated, shouldn't they?
they should
Just
definitely,
go
yeah,
all out.
just go all out, go fucking balls to the wall, go crazy. Um, yeah, no, I heard about this years ago. Obviously there's loads of like rumors and speculation, like there is for any game. If there was loads to talk about, but the thing is, this is real. For the Halo movie, and then that got changed into District 8. or District
District
9.
9.
District 9, yeah. Um, and then obviously I started hearing a couple of things about Minecraft, a Minecraft movie. I'm like, yeah, it's probably not real. And then I heard in the recent years, I have heard that there is a Minecraft movie actually going to be made, and I've just kind of forgot about it, and I feel like a lot of people forgot about it as well. So, I feel like it's now starting to become real. After obviously the
Oh yeah,
success with like the
the shooting in New Zealand pretty
ex-
soon.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like this is now a very real thing. I think it stands on the shoulders of other comic book movies that have been coming out in the recent years. I've seen a little bit of the first one, but I've not seen Sonic 2. I've heard that's pretty good. Detective Pikachu, I've heard that's decent. Obviously we've got the Tomb Raider films, and they were just apparently they were just kind of forgettable. We got the Uncharted movie.
The one with Alicia Vikander's pretty good actually. The later one, the
I
later
I don't
Tomb
know.
Raider.
I've not
That's
really heard
check
anything.
that out if you get a chance. That's actually pretty good. That one.
Okay. I didn't know. I don't know anything about it. I just thought it was forgettable because no one's talked about it. Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of people just didn't go see Uncharted. Um, I quite enjoyed Uncharted. I'm a very, you know, new fan to this franchise. I remember when Callum got his PlayStation 4 a couple of years ago, and we just, he showed me Uncharted and God of War, and I was just like, I've got to get a
Oh yeah, he got
PlayStation,
one.
man.
He got one by the end of the week. He got a
Yeah.
PlayStation.
I got one like the very next week. I was like, I have to play these games,
Yeah.
and one of the first games. I think
I just
no,
lent
no,
I just lent you my games, didn't I? Just lent you
yeah.
Uncharted. And...
The first game I played before I played God of War was Uncharted. I played Uncharted 4. Um, like I just went through the whole story super quick, and then they brought out all the previous games on PlayStation Plus, and I spent like a whole week just smashing them out. I know obviously you're not too keen on the older games. Um, they're a bit more basic, but for the time
Yeah.
that they released, they definitely were really good. And like I said, I played them and I thought they just got better and better. And the fourth one is just phenomenal. If you have a PlayStation, PS4, PS5, get Uncharted, play at least just play the fourth one at least. And if you like that, go watch the movie. It's a good time. It's I enjoyed it. I had fun with it.
Yeah, it was all right. Now my
Yeah,
question is, can Minecraft, probably one of the biggest games in the world, can this film make Mario money?
probably yeah,
Now, I've got a feeling, I don't know if this is live action or animated, but if this is live action, when the first trailer comes out, people are going to think it's an SNL skit.
probably yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean we don't know yet if it's animation.
No,
Um,
I should have done my due diligence to look into it, but if they're shooting, I'm assuming it's live action, if they're shooting in New Zealand. So what the fuck am I
Potentially.
talking about? Duh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't know what they're doing. Maybe the film is maybe it's gonna do like a story where he's in a Minecraft world and then he gets teleported into the real world. Maybe that's the kind of thing they're gonna go for. It wouldn't surprise me.
Do you think he's going to get a big box set?
Not in the live action bit. No, I think it's just gonna be a normal dude.
Oh.
Um, yeah, no, I feel like this is gonna. It's got the potential to be good because Minecraft is whatever you want it to be. There's no real lore in the games. I mean, obviously you got the Ender Dragon bit, and you've got obviously the Nether area, but there's no real story to it. The beauty and the genius of Minecraft is you can create your own story.
Now, will that translate to film?
I think it will. I mean, I've not seen it, but I've heard that the Dungeons and Dragons movie,
Yeah.
and that's a game where you just create your own stories.
Yeah.
It's not really got any sort of lore, unless I think if you play like the original version of the game or something. Either way, that's still it's very open. It can do whatever you want with it, create whatever story you want, and that's what Minecraft got for it. So, movie wise, story wise, I don't have a fucking clue what it's gonna be. It could literally just be
The first
simple.
film, he has to find diamonds.
I think it'll be a bit more in depth than that. You know, it will. I don't.
There's got to be a bit where he mines some diamonds and drops it in lava by accident.
I just fucking hope that it's not going to be like the Gran Turismo film. I think the Gran Turismo film looks okay. I mean, I've never played the games, but you know, it looks. You know, I'd give it a watch. But I hope the Minecraft movie isn't like that, where it's just some guy, where it's Jason Momoa. It's just a film about him playing Minecraft, and he has to do something in the game. I mean,
He's just
Free Guy did
surrounded on
that.
his desk and he's got like piss bottles everywhere because he don't want to get
Yeah.
up and leave.
See, Free Guy has kind of already done that, and if they're gonna do that, they're gonna have to make the in-game stuff look exactly like Minecraft, and so I don't think it'll work that well, to be honest.
No.
The reason why Free Guy worked with a lot of audiences is because in the video game world it looked real.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Obviously this is going to be obviously tailored for kids and stuff, but you know I think there's going to be a lot of Easter eggs there to loads of like YouTube creators. I'm flashing again, not flashing but flashing.
Well, I'll tell you what then. Let's wrap it up here. Now, anything you want to add, Kyle, before we go? Oh.
No, like I said at the start of the episode, there's obviously I'm gonna look into a video. It's probably gonna be a half an hour long, but it's just gonna be kind of going back and forth on the history of gaming and where it's at today. So I kind of want to talk about the Starfield and being locked at 30 FPS. Um, so that'll be an interesting subject. It's not just about that. That's you know, but it's gonna be sort of just a discussion.
Yeah. No. Definitely. So this is gonna get uploaded right now. I am also going to try and, just out a couple of the topics, get some shorter videos out of it. So if you guys have sat through the whole episode, obviously you won't need to watch that. It's just about getting, people, not everyone has time to sit down and watch an hour, but someone might see a topic that they like and go, oh, I'll watch that. So just gonna cut some videos out of this as well. I'll say it again. Obviously I uploaded the Theorydom segment from Friday's episode yesterday. Thanks again, 10 subscribers. We wanted it by the end of the month. After I said that, we did it within 2 days, so that's good. Remember, 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and me and Kyle will watch Morbius for 24 hours straight. We're not forgetting about that, and I definitely want to put Kyle through that pain. So, like, subscribe, share, show us to your mother, and I will see you, and Kyle will see you tomorrow.